You know, I don't.
Wow.
I really don't. I don't wish luck to racists.
Oh, I'm not racist.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are, Nick.
Yeah, I am a little bit
Yeah,
racist.
I know.
But listen, but it's not because I hate people. I love people. It's just race is real. Race is real. Race is a part of us. So, hey, it is what it is.
And the Italians, we do not claim you.
Oh, hey, the Italians don't claim you. You're the one dating a black guy. The Italians don't claim me. They don't claim you.
Oh, no, they claim me. They claim me.
I don't think so.
They do.
Italian guys, yeah.
Italians,
Tell an Italian guy about your
lovers.
affinity for black guys. That'll go over real well.
Good one, Nick.
Maybe some brajol. There's some Italian
No,
for
but
you.
I will make my black boyfriend some of that.
Ugh, wow. You don't know any better.
So that's some of it. That's some of the interview. If you don't know who this guy is, he's a big time like Trump supporter. He's anti, black, Mexican. They say like the Holocaust thing, all this stuff. He got a lot to say about everything. Mm-hmm. He's anti everything. But the whole thing about it is he's half Hispanic and half Italian. You know what I mean? He's a, minority himself.
Right.
So what's y'all take on what we got so far here? Thing is, I guess this went on through the whole interview. People's problem is, and we'll show a little more, is Pearly never stepped in. It's like, whoa, you're getting out of line, chill out. I guess that's what people's problem with is, because everybody know who he is. Wherever he goes, this is what he do. I don't have a problem with this guy doing. That's what I don't consume his content. It is what it is. We must understand that there are people like him in the world. We can't walk around with rose petal glasses on. So I don't, agree with the guy. But she, like Willie said, she hires all black people. All black people are on her shows. These are the people she frequent with. She done made millions off these people. So she got an obligation, or are we looking too much into this? Like, she don't owe anybody anything. People are like, oh, she's supposed to be our ally, if you will.
Yeah, she was wrong, and not for having him on the show. She was wrong for not doing her due diligence. Like, if your crowd is black folks, like, first off, what was the point in bringing him on, right? Because me, I'll do it. I sat down with a Trump supporter and a black Biden supporter, and we hashed it out. But the intentions was to come to a common ground and like see what's the differences. What was her point in bringing him on? And if you're going to bring somebody on like that, you better bring somebody else, because I don't think Pearly's educated on black issues. That's the first issue. Mm-hmm. Like, so if you're going to bring him on to have a discussion, you better bring somebody on who could talk some sense back to him. You know what I mean? He got a lot of humor. So you need somebody like a Dave Chappelle who could bring that humor to, and let's talk this out. You feel what I'm saying? That's where she was wrong, man. Like,
there you go. It seemed one-sided. The brother didn't seem like he was getting, and he wasn't. And he didn't seem like he wasn't. He wasn't getting any pushback. So it almost seemed like they was in agreement, if you will.
I mean, yeah, I think that's what happens when you're uneducated and you're someone, because Pearly's someone who likes honesty. So if you getting off honestly, she gonna let you get off. Yeah. Unless she could come back with some data, some stats to back it up. Like, that's what she does. I think she knows nothing about our fight, and she didn't have anybody in the room who knows anything about our fight to be able to come back. You know what I mean? And that's where she wrong to me. She wrong for that.
What you think, Mr. Diz? You muted.
You muted up. You muted, Mr. Diz. Hold on. There you go. You good? You might be lagging a little bit. Hold on. You got a lag there. You must got one of them Bang of diaphones.
Mackenzie, welcome, brother. What you up to?
Mackenzie in the building.
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing? Peace and blessings.
Pretty good, man.
Long time no see, man.
Yeah. Trying to be like y'all, man. Staying busy,
Hey, I had to hit you up on this topic. I said, you know, something like this. I said, my man Big Nasty on this. So I know you're familiar with just Pearly, right?
Yeah, so like be honest with you, man, I don't really be in the in the know in a say. I always let things kind of develop. I don't just listen to the first, updated news when it just comes out. There's always, not just two sides but multiple sides to a story. Um, but hearing the tail end of what Seth was saying, he pretty much had it, spot on, when it comes down to the two, her just kind of playing a system, that's been played way too long since, slavery days in a sense. So I've seen and I've heard a little bit, but I ain't really dig down deep into it or get too familiarized with it, to be honest with you.
I'm trying to get my Africans in America. My Africans. Oh gosh.
Oh boy.
They're
You're
gonna
gonna
be
get
in trouble.
yourself
This sounds similar to the slavery stuff too, because that's literally the founder of, or the guy who made Roots said, I wanted a myth for my people to live by. So they often, but that's what they do, is they embellish. And I'm not trying to say it wasn't horrible.
So what does? Here we go. She's saying that she's stating facts. I heard Winnett say earlier she don't know enough to be hitting on these topics.
We shouldn't
All
even
right.
be talking about it.
So what does the word embellish? What does that mean?
To exaggerate, embellish, to exaggerate, to shit, putting 10 on 5.
So the context of their conversation is when they're making these movies like Roots, Django, or Holocaust movies, that they are exaggerating what truly happened. Was not that bad. It wasn't that bad. And everything's exaggerated to strike fear in people and to control people. To thinking it was that bad and that it could be that bad again. And that's sort of what she's saying, that, yeah, slavery happened, but it wasn't like y'all think.
Yeah, I feel like it's another one of them situations where white people might grow up in a home where the parents have lack of experience with racism, and they look at it as a sense of, okay, they're just in their victim shit, man. They on some victim shit. And they really don't know much about it. And so this kid grows up with this notion that, black people are just victim blaming. They're really not really going through anything. And the few pieces of information out there that validate that, they run with it. You know what I mean? So whatever she heard in that interview validated, like, oh yeah, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. You get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if you don't experience something and you don't do research on it and you have little respect for it, you know what I'm saying? You really won't know much about it. And you could tell she ain't do her research on this like she's done research on other things. You know what I mean? It's just a lack of respect for our struggle and our fight and everything that we got going on. I like Pearly, but I can't respect her for her stance on that at all.
So let me ask y'all this, because Pearly is from the UK. She's not from America. But I would imagine that there is a disconnect between American slave culture and people growing up in a different, in the UK and London. I don't think they have like Black History Month where they have to learn about Harriet Tubman and stuff. I could be wrong. I don't know if they do that there, and maybe she's ignorant to these facts. What do you think, Pope? What do you think?
Man, you know what? Actually, I'm kind of in listening mode, and I got more questions than answers. But
okay,
but my first question is this the same lady that be giving all the advice, like she be telling women about how men feel about things?
So that's her claim to fame. Is she, obviously, rest in peace, Kevin Samuels, and he passed away, and she sure to grab the torch as a woman, holding men accountable, and people say the YouTube algorithm boosted her up and put her to the forefront. All right, and now she speaks on, she sort of holds women accountable like a black man would, if you will.
Okay, so from there, my immediate question is like, as black people, like why are we holding her to a standard where she shouldn't have anybody that's racist on her show or whatever? Like, I mean, what did she earn a black card or something like that?
Well,
like,
here we go. And she got she has a pseudo black card to where, like I said, she's speaking on black relationships and marriage. She speaks on, our struggle, I guess. So all of her guests are black, all of her camera people. the people who help, like Mr. Whitted here, people who do her multimedia and everything. She works with all black people. But then she, so there were even black people in the studio because they're part of her team while he was in there. And he went on a 3-hour racist rant. And they was like, why would you make your own friends and your coworkers that uncomfortable by bringing him?
And as Whitted said, no one contested him. So
there you go.
She got all these, black coworkers in the back. They filming, they all around, and this guy going off. He getting his rocks off, and no one was contesting him, not even Pearly. And 99.9% of her audience is black.
All right, bet. So, hey, now I'm going to really go into listening mode because that's interesting. Because I was going to say, I mean, I've had racists on my show, and when I go to work or whoever, I loved it. I love the entertainer racists. You know what I mean? For educational purposes. But there's going to be some pushback to it too. So at that point, fellas, I'm going to go back into listening mode because I don't know enough.
Okay. So what you got? Donnell, you got anything on this so far?
I'm kind of like Poke right now because, like I said, I ain't really all the way hip on the situation. Again, I kind of try to fill it out first, and so I get a good perspective. So, Mr. Diz, it's your flow, man.
I'm about to say, I was gonna say, even while we having this discussion, this is even a greater discussion, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think it's necessarily about Pearly and the show. I think it shines a light on people saying like she's a culture vulture, like I hit on, and just how much are we trusting people to say, oh, how could she do this? And then some people said, why did y'all ever trust her that much in the first place?
I mean, my thing is like, she can never experience what we experienced at all, ever in her life. She can have as many black friends and black people working for her and surrounding her, but she would never experience what we actually experience as people. I'm tired of myself. I'm speaking for myself on this one. I'm tired of these white folks thinking they can speak for us. I'm tired of these white folks thinking they can tell us our history. I'm tired of these white folks thinking that they can just tell us a story and want us just to go with it. We got to stop this. You know what I mean? Like we shouldn't be even entertaining her show. Yeah, I guess she picked up the torch from when Kevin left, but if it wasn't for us, she wouldn't have an audience. We're giving her that platform to have this audience. So, as people, and her talking about the slaves and all this other stuff, yes, it was bad. But let's talk about the stuff that happened before slavery. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about stuff that, they trying to keep us from reading, during the periods of slavery that 300 and 400 years. Why didn't they want us to read? You know what I mean? Like, let's ask those questions, because the fact that they're trying to hide, they're trying to erase what we knew and want to tell us what they want to tell us. They want to write their own story and then keep us from being knowledgeable. So, that's pretty much what I'm going to say at this moment on this base here.
And that's why it's important for us to have black media ownership, like a cart before the horse. You know what I mean? Even like Poke's show, like, because every culture has their own. Like, if you go look up Italian media, you're going to see a whole list all owned by Italian, Irish. You got the RAI, all of these medias. But if you look up ours are all owned by white folks. You know what I'm saying? And I don't see anything wrong with others dipping into our culture. Mm-hmm. But the problem is nobody really has enough empathy or care for our issues at all. Like, if somebody comes to me and tells me they got cancer, I'm listening. I'm empathetic. If we come and we start talking, everybody's like, no, you know what I mean? There's a lot of pushback. And it's like, yo, I'm just telling you what I'm going through. And that's why I don't have a problem with you coming into my culture, but this is why we have to have more representation. Because like the homie DUI 285 said, he said white women will never openly go against their own kind in public. And you got to understand, Pearly pushes the whole sense of being submissive as a woman. She's a submissive woman. So when this white man is sitting next to her, telling her these things about black men, she's naturally submitting to that and hearing that out. You feel what I'm saying? So all of that's important, extremely important.
Wow, that was powerful right there.
Yeah, real talk.
So that was strong, right? Hey, we don't get that opportunity when we're talking to our woman, man. It's always a back and forth dialogue. It's always, that was strong right there, bro.
Hey, with it, to piggyback off of that, one of the most powerful things I saw as far as unity amongst man and woman in a race was the whole debacle and circus with the orange man, Trump. he was caught on camera, saying something most degrading, talking about grabbing women by the genitals. And to make your point, white women say, okay, and they start making shirts saying he could grab me by the genitals. Ain't nobody, they just go along with they men because they know it's in their best interest.
To piggyback on what Brother Seth said, like he said with Pearly, if you think about what she does, she's a panderer, just like Derrick Jax. Derrick Jax pandered to the women. She's pandering to the black men, then. So she's no different. Even Candace Owens, but she's white, so she's gonna get more push than what Candace Owens get there, and Candace Owens is gonna get criticized more. So that's really what Pearly is. She's a panderer then, and she pandering for the bag then. And then, like Brother Seth said, with the media, we don't have no strong media outlets. We got the Shade Room and Bossa, but they promote all bullshit then. And they can do more for the media than for us as people. But our media sources just drama and who beefing and all that. So
I agree that pandering, she's pandering, Brother Diz, and it works because people looking for acceptance. So they're like, oh, you see what I'm saying? Oh, this Caucasian sister, she down with us. She invited to the cookout, and they just happy to see, somebody like her on their side. And the
slave mentality.
Yes, sir, straight like that.
The slave mentality. That's the master mentality, Willie. That's the master mentality. They wait for the white man or the white woman to come in on that white horse to save them, and then we just be open arms. Then, but at the end of the day, all of us as brothers, there's very few brothers we gonna look to for advice. But I don't never look to no person that don't look like me for no advice as far as with me and my people. Then, so we got to be more cautious on who we let in. Man.
They're looking for Pearly to save them, and Pearly done broke their heart.
He ain't saving nothing but the bag. That's it.
Hey, when we use the word pander, like, are we saying that she? Because I feel like her and Derrick Jackson, me personally, I felt they were different. I felt like Derrick Jackson. Are we saying that she's doing this all for money? Because as I've listened to her up until today, I pretty much agree with a lot that she has to say, and I've never felt like she was like trying to pander. I just felt like she was being honest, using facts, and having women hold themselves accountable. I didn't take it like that.
Maybe not pander, but culture vulture is the best.
Making a lot of money.
She came in, she made her way into this manosphere space and started stealing all the talking points.
Exactly.
And Pearly has a whole machine behind her to the point where she has probably 4 or 5 YouTube channels, and she drops up to 60 videos a day. Short and long form content, and she has such a grasp, and that's not including TikTok and all the. Just on YouTube, she's dropping 50 to 60 videos a day. All right, she got a whole marketing team behind her. All she do is she's good at networking and getting people together and orchestrating the show. And like you said, she does have good talking points, but it's simply it's stuff she can get from simply watching me and Mr. Walker. She could watch our show and say, I like what they say. I like this. I like that. And if it come out her mouth, you don't hear a lot of white women talking like that. So it sounds like it's something more amazing than it is.
Mm-hmm. Right. As Danny Nicole said, her intentions aren't pure.
Exactly. And before we even move on, I know our brother Theo Coop, the Do Better podcast, he touched on it like a couple of days ago then, and I watched a little bit of it, and like y'all said, she gave like no pushback, but if you watch any of her other videos, she's giving major pushback, and then she's almost kind of playing like the ditzy kind of like, oh, that's what that is, like that, then, and then just letting this clown just go in, and then he even got a point. I don't want to ruin the video, but he even got a part where he's talking about an African cat in there, one of her workers did. So it's just like she kind of showed her true colors on that one.
Okay.
So, yeah, you let them in. You let them in, and then they show their true colors there, who they really are. So,
but that's nothing new. I mean, that goes back since before Columbus. I mean, this is nothing new. It's the same repeated thing throughout history. I mean, it's not a shocker, at least not in my eyes here.
At all. I kind of knew what she was up to from the get-go, but, everybody was buying into it how she wanted. And, Brother Seth, she making a lot of money over there. She got almost 2 million subscribers. She putting out tons and tons of videos a day then of content, and really,
videos with it.
Yeah. Now I'll give it to her. Yeah, she does her research and everything, but like you said, she can get talking points from you brothers then or whoever else there amongst the people there. So it is what it is.
ain't hating on nobody, but you gotta feel something about that. The fact that she can come observe content as she sees fit, and she could just take as she's whatever she wants. And as Gavin said, the whole YouTube machine is behind her, pushing her stuff. So you could be a pioneer in something, but an individual like just Pearly could come and just take it with the machine behind her, and you'd be none the wiser. Culture vulture.
Okay, so Brother Poke, I know you're trying to get in here. What you got?
First of all, can you guys hear me? Because I don't have my AirPods in.
Yeah,
you good.
Okay. Still, fellas, I'm a little bit conflicted because this is my thing. Like, no matter what, everything she said, as far as us, was still helpful and true. So she still she still promoted exactly what we're always saying. So that's good. And also, if she has a racist on her show, that is still good too. Like, isn't this what we want? Don't we want racists to speak? Don't we want to hear how Trump supporters think? Like, don't we want this? Like, I like my racism up front and in my face. I don't want racism that's been being hidden. So I'm a little bit conflicted. Like, okay, so I'm disappointed that she didn't push back, but we like not that disappointed though. You know what I mean? Like, so at the end of the day, like, is she helping our cause, and is she exposing racism for what it is? You know what I mean?
I think another reason people are bent out of shape is because she didn't have any other guests on the show with opposing views to go back and forth with them. Even if she did, like people saying, fine, she didn't do it. But I'm not extremely familiar, but I know her content. She's normally the kind of woman that's gonna have 7, 8, 9, 10 people in the room, and they're all. But in this case, she sort of gave some form of exclusivity, and it's sort of out of the realm. She don't do stuff like this, I guess. I really don't have an issue with it. I didn't consume her content. I probably won't now. And like you said, but I've heard people say, because if just Pearly contacted us and say, we want to do an interview with y'all, I'll say, yeah.
Yeah, Poke, it's after seeing,
you know what I mean? So yeah.
After seeing how intentional she is about holding women accountable, it makes me wonder, like, she's real strategic. Like, why didn't she bring in people to, go against him? Like, and it's starting to make me think that she agrees with a lot of things that he says, but she doesn't want to agree on camera. So she wanted to let him get off. You know what I mean? Now, this is all accusation. I could be completely wrong. I don't know Pearly from a can of paint other than the things that I've seen. But she's strategic, and she does have a large panel. And it's like, why didn't you this one time? All you got is the emotional Italian girl.
So there's two things. Two things. Number one, even if she agrees with him, it's really like, as far as us, especially as brothers, it's like, and so what? Like, who cares? But number two, the guy that she brought on, from what I heard, he's just another Trumper troll. He wasn't kicking no real knowledge or anything. So really, he made the Trumpers look bad. He's making himself look bad. He sounds real stupid. I mean, I've seen some hardcore racists that come through and they kick some knowledge, and you gotta have some education on history to understand and debunk what they're saying. This guy, you don't need no information to debunk what he's saying. He sounded like a clown. So I mean, it almost looked like she had him on her to look like a fool. But at the end of the day, like, even if she did it, let's suppose she believes everything he's saying. I mean, who cares? Because she still be saying stuff to help us.
Hey, take what you can from it, then.
Yeah, like eat the meat and spit out the bone.
Yeah, hey, the clown that she got there, he was the one that headed up that Klan rally. Remember in Charlottesville, he was headed that then. The Tiki Torches.
She had him on the show.
No, that's the guy. He was part of. Yeah, that's him.
We're going to dive into it. So let's see. We talking a lot, and there's